This is the EdExcel GCSE 9-1 Maths Paper 2 from the Foundation tier, and this is from the 2023 series. Question number 1. We have to write 6,184 correct to the nearest 100. Well, if we take a look at the tens column, where we've got this 8, this is 5 or greater, so we need to move this 1 in the hundreds column up to the next digit, leaving us with 6,200. Question 2. We have to write 0.7 as a fraction. If we key in 0.7 into our calculator and then press equals, we will find 0.7 is the same as 7/10. So we have 7/10. Question 3. We have to change 9 meters into centimeters. Well, to go from meters to centimeters, we need to multiply by 100. So I've got this 9 meters, and if I multiply this by 100, you will find 9 meters is the same as 900 centimeters. Question number 4, we have to simplify 3 multiplied by 4t. 3 times by the 4 is 12, and we are multiplying that by t, so we end up with 12t. Question number 5, here is a list of numbers: 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. One of these numbers is a multiple of 25. Which number? Well, to find out which number is a multiple of 25, if I divide one of those numbers by 25 and get a whole number, that means that number is a multiple of 25. And clearly that will be 100, because 100 divided by 25 is 4. Or 25 multiplied by 4 gives the 100, which means 100 is a multiple of 25. Question number 6. Shari has a fair ordinary dice. She rolls the dice once. On the probability scale, we have to mark with the cross the probability that she gets a number 7. Well, a dice is numbered 1 to 6, so getting a 7 is impossible, so we mark 0 with a cross. For part B, on the probability scale, we have to mark with the cross the probability that Shari gets an even number. Well, for an even number, how many even numbers are there? Out of 6, well, there are 3 even numbers, so the probability is a half, so we cross where there's a half. Question number 7. Here is a triangle. The triangle is accurately drawn. Part A, measure the length of AC. If I measure AC, you will find AC to equal 9.3 centimeters. Part B, measure the size of angle B. If I measure the size of angle B, we have 106 degrees. So B is 106 degrees. Here is a different triangle. QP is equal to QR. We have to write down the mathematical name of this triangle. Well, if two sides of this triangle have equal length, that means we have an isosceles triangle. So we have an isosceles triangle. Question number 8. The diagram shows 3 motorway service stations P, Q and R on a map. P to Q is 8 centimeters, Q to R is 16 centimeters. The map has a scale of 1 centimeter equals 4 kilometers. We have to work out the real distance from P to R. So we've got this map which has units centimeters, and in real life we've got units kilometers. So from P to R, that distance is 8 centimeters plus 16 centimeters, which is 24 centimeters. And if 1 centimeter equals 4 kilometers, that means I have to multiply this 24 by 4 to convert and find out the real distance. 24 multiplied by 4 is 96, so the real distance is 96 kilometers. Question number 9. Here are the first 5 terms of a sequence. We have 3, 8, 13, 18 and 23. Part A, we have to write down the next term of this sequence. Well, you can see that to go from one term to the next, we add 5 each time. So 23 plus 5 is 28, so the next term of this sequence is 28. Part B, we have to write down the ratio of the second term to the fourth term. The second term is 8, the fourth term is 18. So the ratio of the second term to the fourth term, that will be given by 8 to 18. And we need to write this in simplest form. Well, both sides can be divided by 2. 8 divided by 2, that's 4. 18 divided by 2, that's 9. So the ratio in simplest form is 4:9. Question number 10. This graph can be used to find the cost of parking a car in a car park for up to 12 hours. So we've got the number of hours and the cost. For part A, we have to use the graph to find the cost of parking a car for 4 hours. So the number of hours is 4, so if I draw a line up from 4 and then read across, you will find the cost is 6. So we have £6. Justin drives into the car park at 8 AM in the morning. When he drives out of the car park, he has to pay £9. At what time does Justin drive out of the car park? So if he pays £9, that means the number of hours is 6. So we have 6 hours. So he drives into the car park at 8 AM. We add on to this 6 hours, and it turns out the time he leaves is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Question 11. The table shows information about the weights of the people in a hotel lift. We have to show that the total weight of the people in the lift is less than 1,200 kilograms. We've got one person with a weight of 40 kilograms. We've got 2 people with a weight of 50 kilograms, so their total weight is 100 kilograms. We've got 4 people with a weight of 60 kilograms, so their total weight is 240 kilograms. We've got 5 people with a weight of 70 kilograms, so their total weight is 350 kilograms. We've got 3 people with a weight of 80 kilograms, so their total weight is 240 kilograms. And we've got 1 person with a weight of 90 kilograms. So now we can find out the total weight. 40 plus 100 plus 240 plus 350 plus 240 plus 90 gives us 1,060 kilograms. So this 1,060 is certainly less than the 1,200 kilograms, so we've shown that result to be true. Question 12. Shape A is reflected in a mirror line to give shape B, and that's what we see here. Part A, on the grid, draw the mirror line. Here is that mirror line. Part B, Alex is asked to reflect shape P in the x-axis. Here is the diagram Alex draws. We have to explain the mistake Alex has made. Well, reflecting in the x-axis means we have to reflect in this line here. So the shape should be in this quadrant here. What they've done is they've reflected in the y-axis. So Alex has reflected in the y-axis, not the x-axis. Question number 13. There are 50 teachers in a school. This is 1/16 of the total number of people in the school. We have to work out the total number of people in the school. If I let the total number of people equal x, then I've got 1/16 of x, which is equal to 50. And what I need to do is multiply 50 by 16 to find out the total. The total, you can see then, is 800. So the total number of people in the school is 800. Question number 14. Packets of sweets are put into boxes. Each packet is a cuboid 80 mm by 60 mm by 20 mm. Each box is a cuboid 72 cm by 48 cm by 24 cm. We have to work out the greatest number of packets that can be put into each box. To find that out, we need to work out the volume of the box and the volume of the packet. And dividing the volume of the box divide the volume of the packet will tell us the greatest number of packets that can be put into each box. Now here we've got units of millimeters, and here we've got units of centimeters. We need to make the units the same. So the volume of the packet we've got 80 millimeters, which is 8 centimeters, multiplied by 60 millimeters, which is 6 centimeters, multiplied by 20 millimeters, which is 2 centimeters. And working this out, we get 96 centimeters cubed. The volume of the box, we've got 72 multiplied by the 48 multiplied by the 24. So 72 multiplied by 48 multiplied by the 24. It turns out we get 82,944 centimeters cubed. So therefore, 82,944 divided by the 96 will get us 864. So the greatest number of packets that can be put into each box is 864. Question number 15. Here is a fair ordinary dice and a fair 8-sided spinner. Charlie throws the dice once and spins the spinner once. Is Charlie more likely to get a number less than 3 on the dice or a number greater than 5 on the spinner? You must show all your working. So we're looking at if he's more likely to get a number less than 3 on the dice or a number greater than 5 on the spinner. Question number 16. Paulo drives at an average speed of 56 km per hour for 1 hour 45 minutes. We have to work out the distance Paulo drives. So the distance is equal to the speed multiplied by the time. So we've got the speed, 56 km per hour, multiplied by the time, 1 hour 45 minutes. Now, we need to convert this 1 hour 45 minutes into just hours. And that's found by working out the 1 hour plus 45 over 60 of an hour. So it turns out in hours, 1 hour 45 minutes is 1.75 hours. So if I multiply 56 by 1.75, I get 98. So the distance is 98 kilometers. Question number 17. There are 3 cinemas, A, B and C. The mean number of seats per cinema is 380. There are 350 seats in cinema A. There are 250 seats in cinema B. We have to work out the number of seats in cinema C. To find out the mean, I need to add up all the totals, divide that by 3 and set it equal to 380. So with the 3 cinemas, I've got 350 in A plus 250 in B. Don't know how many there are in C, so let's just add on C. Then I divide this by how many cinemas I have, 3, and this is equal to 380. So if I do 380 multiplied by 3, I get 1,140, which means I've got 350 plus 250 plus C equals 1,140. 350 plus 250 is 600, then I add on C and I get 1,140, which means C is equal to 540. Question number 18. Asher buys 180 cans of cola. The cans are sold in packs. There are 12 cans in each pack. Each pack costs £3. Part A, we have to work out the total cost of the cola Asher buys. So the number of packs, if I've got 180 cans and there's 12 cans in each pack, the number of packs in is 180 divided by the 12, which is 15. So we've got 15 packs and each pack costs £3. So the cost is equal to 15 because we've got 15 packs multiplied by £3, which is £45. Ethan buys a box of 24 cans of lemonade for £7. There are 330 millilitres of lemonade in each can. We have to work out the cost of 100 millilitres of lemonade. Give your answer to the nearest penny. So I've got £7 giving me 24 cans. If I divide by 24, I can find out what 1 can is. 7 divided by 24 is 0.291, etc. So 1 can is equal to 0.291, etc. pounds. And I know that in each can I've got 330 millilitres. I want to find out what 1 millilitre is worth, and I can do that by dividing by 330. So dividing by 330 will tell me what millilitre is. So if I do this value divided by 330, you will find that 1 millilitre costs 7 over 7,920 pounds. So I want to find out the cost of 100 millilitres. So if I multiply by 100 to find out what 100 millilitres is worth, I get 0.0 88, etc. And if I times this by 100, I get 8.83, etc. pence. So that's approximately 9 pence. So we have approximately 9 pence. Question number 19. 240 people work at a factory. Of these people, 150 have a car, 110 have a bicycle, and 65 of the people who have a bicycle do not have a car. We have to use this information to complete the frequency tree. We've got 240 people in total, and we know that 150 have a car, and 65 people who do not have a car have a bicycle. So with this we can finish the rest of the information. So there's 110 people who have a bicycle. So first of all, 150 plus 90 gives 240, and 65 plus 45 gives 110, 45 plus 105 gives 150, 65 plus 25 gives a 90. So here is the completed frequency tree. We now have to find out the percentage of the 150 people who don't have a car and also a bike. So that's 45 people altogether. So we have 45 over 150 times 100, so that's 30%. Question 20, part A, we have to work out the value of 25 subtract the square root of 43.87 over 6 plus 2.1 squared. We have to write down all the figures on your calculator display. We type in the fraction button, then we have 25 subtract the square root of 43.87, and then we divide this by 6 plus 2.1 squared, and it turns out we get 1.76527923. Part B, we have to work out the value of the reciprocal of 0.625. Well, reciprocal means 1 over. So we have 1 over 0.625, and if I work out what this is, we get 8 over 5, which is 1.6. So the reciprocal of 0.625 is 1.6. Question 21, we have to write 60 as a product of its prime factors. We start off with this 60. 60 we can rewrite as 2 multiplied by 30. 2 is a prime number, 30 isn't, so we can further split up this 30. We can split up 30 as 2 times by 15. The 2 is a prime number, the 15 isn't, so we can further split up this 15 as 3 times 5. So 60 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Question number 22. There are 48 counters in a bag. There are only red counters and blue counters in the bag. The number of red counters to the number of blue counters is 1 to 2. Ellen has to work out how many red counters are in the bag. She says there are 24 red counters in the bag because 1 is half of 2 and 24 is half of 48. Is Helen correct? You must give a reason for your answer. Well, I've got 48 being divided by this ratio of 1 to 2, which means the number of red will be a third of the 48. So red is a third of the total. So to work out the number of red, that's a third of 48, which is 16. So we've got 16 red, not 24 red. Question 23. We've got -2, which is less than or equal to n, which is less than 5. N is an integer. We have to write down the greatest possible value of n. Well, if I think about the possible values of n, I've got -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can't include the 5 because of the inequality shown. So the greatest possible value of n is 4. Part B, on the number line, we have to show the inequality -4 being less than or equal to m, which is less than 1. We see that over here, we've got a filled circle representing the weak inequality and an empty circle representing the strong inequality. The values are shown between -4 and 1. Part C, we have to solve 2 over 5g subtract 4 equals 6. Well, if I add 4 to both sides, that will tell me that 2 over 5g is equal to 10. And if I multiply both sides by 5, that means 2g is equal to 50, and dividing both sides by 2, you will find g to equal 25. Question 24. Here is a triangle and a rectangle. All measurements are in centimetres. The area of the triangle is 10 centimetres squared greater than the area of the rectangle. We have to work out the value of x. The triangle has dimensions 8 centimeters by 6x centimeters. The rectangle has dimensions 5 centimeters by 4x subtract 1 centimeters. The area of the triangle, we've got a half times by the 6x times by the 8, which is 24x. And for the rectangle, the area is given by 5 multiplied by the 4x subtract 1. 5 times 4x is 20x, 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. So, we've got the area of the triangle, 24x, that's equal to the area of the rectangle, 20x subtract 5, plus the 10. And if I simplify this, you will find 4x to equal 5, which means x is equal to 5 over 4. Question number 25. Last year, a family recycled 800 kilograms of household waste. 57% of this waste was paper and glass. The weight of paper recycled to the weight of glass recycled is 12:7. We have to calculate the weight of glass the family recycled. The total weight of paper and glass, that's 57% of 800. So 0.57 times 800 is 456. So we have 456 kilograms. Now, I've got this ratio 12:7 for paper and glass. I know that the total is equal to 456. Now 12 plus 7, that's 19. So I've got 19 parts altogether. So if I do this value divided by 19, I get 24, which means each part is worth 24. So for paper, the total will equal 24 times 12, which is 288. And for glass, that will be 24 times 7, which is 168. So in total, we've got 168 kilograms. Question number 26. A number D is rounded to one decimal place. The result is 12.7. We have to complete the error interval for D. The lower bound is 12.65. The upper bound is 12.75. So we have 12.65, which is less than or equal to D, which is less than 12.75. Question 27. Tamsin buys a house with a value of £150,000. The value of Tamsin's house increases by 4% each year. Rachel buys a house with a value of £160,000. The value of Rachel's house increases by 1.5% each year. At the end of 2 years, whose house has the greater value? You must show how you get your answer. So if I take a look at Tamsin's house, I've got this £150,000 and I multiply this by 1.04 squared. So if I work that out, the value of her house is £162,240. And if I take a look at Rachel's house, well, I've got this £160,000 and I multiply this by 1.015 squared. And if I work this out, I get 164,836, which means Rachel's house has the greater value. Question number 28. Here are 5 graphs. We've got graphs A, B, C, D, and E. The table shows the equations of these graphs. We have to match the letter of each graph with its equation. Well, x squared subtract 4x, that's going to be a quadratic, so that's B. Y equals x plus 3, that's a straight line with a positive gradient, so that's going to be graph D. Y equals x cubed subtract 2, well, the cubic shape is graph E. Y equals 1 over x, that will be graph C. And then 5 subtract 2x, that's got a straight line with a negative gradient, that's graph A. So we've matched the equation with the graph.